Okay, in this video we're going to have a look at the general shape of what happens when you're graphing exponentials. Now, so if you've got y is equal to e to the power of x, it's going to look like this. Now there's a couple of things about it. First of all, it's asymptotic to the x-axis. Asymptotic means it gets infinitely close to the x-axis, never touches the x-axis. Because there is no value of x I could put in here that gives a value of y being 0. So it never touches the x-axis, asymptotic. Secondly, that value there, that's always going to cut the y-axis at 1. If I have one lot of e to the x. It's going to cut at 2 if I have two lots of e to the x, because e to the x generates the y value. If I multiply it by 2, the y value will be double. So what we do is we call it a lots of e to the x, where a is where it's going to cut the y-axis. Now, it will always grow through this particular point. Now, I can make it grow more steeply by changing the b value. So if I made it like e to the power of 2x, it grows more steeply, or e to the power of 3x, it grows more steeply again. So if I multiply x by some component b, it's going to stand up more quickly. Now, thirdly, it's asymptotic to the x-axis, but I can make it asymptotic to anywhere I want, simply by adding some constant on the end to raise it up. So ae to the bx plus c is your general form that we're going to be working with. Here's our exponential number. A will give me where it cuts the y-axis, and that's assuming that c is 0. C will then shift everything up, and then b will make it stand up more quickly. So that's generally what the exponentials are going to be like and what they're going to be doing. Now, one other bit of information that you should take note of, you don't need to memorize this, but just be aware of this. You'll come across this in your travels as we're doing our exponentials. So if I had y equals e to the x, it's going to graph like that. Now, if I change to be y equals the negative of e to the x, so here all the y values are produced by e to the x. Well, there's e to the x, so that's generating all the y values, and then all those y values are being negated, so all the positive ones become negative. So if you go negative of all of this, it's going to flip it around the x-axis. If we had y is equal to e to the negative x, so all my x values are going to be made negative, they become opposite. So you can see straight away it's going to flip it around the y-axis. And then of course, if you negated both of them, you're going to flip it around both axes. So looking at something like that, make sure it's asymptotic. So there's your general shapes. Now you should at least be aware of it, be familiar with it, and some of the calculations that we do, whether it's flipped one way or the other, that will become quite obvious in the calculations as we go along. But just be aware that by putting the negative signs in various places, it turns the graph around different ways.